Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. John Walden, and I'm the new anthropology faculty hire here at Galen University. It's truly an honour to be here in Belize for this year's Culture Symposium, and it's even more of an honour to act as keynote speaker for day one of the proceedings. I'm truly delighted to welcome you all here for what promises to be a remarkable event. First, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the directors of Heritage Education Network Belize. In my book, the HENB team has consistently knocked the ball out of the park when it comes to the annual Culture Symposium over the last 4 years. I'd also like to thank the many contributors who have put together these delightful presentations that focus on the intersection of history, archaeology and heritage. I'd also like to thank the various institutions that make all of this research possible and safeguard and preserve Belizean heritage for the future. These include the National Institute of Culture and History and its various branches, the Institute of Archaeology, the Institute for Social and Cultural Research, the Belize Archives and Records Service, and the Museum of Belize and the Houses of Culture. Each of these institutions plays a truly significant role, and I am most deeply grateful for their continued support for Belizean heritage and research and scholarship. Just glancing over today's programme, I was struck by the sheer diversity of the different historical and archaeological work represented here. The themes of day one include exploring Belize's past, early community and identity formation, and culinary heritage. These bring Belizean heritage to the forefront. Together they ask us to reflect on the ways in which these various elements of social life continue to impact us today. As archaeologists, historians, anthropologists, linguists, and community researchers, we're all engaged in the same endeavour, which is how to better understand this Belizean past and the Belizean heritage. More specifically, the ways in which the Belizean landscape have impacted the people living in it, and the ways in which the people living in the landscape have impacted the spaces around themselves. Throughout the day, you'll hear from colleagues whose work spans every element of the Belizean past, from ancient Mayan marketplaces to ritual caves, historic logging camps, and the study of foodways, social history, enslavement. Whether these are reconstructed through archival documents, cave assemblages, archaeological remains, animal bones, or contemporary dietary patterns, they all build a bridge between the past and the present. Archaeology and history in Belize have often been treated as separate enterprises, one dealing with the more distant or remote past, and one dealing with the present or more recent history. Increasingly, we see the power of integration when we combine the insights from archaeology with those of the historical archives. We can uncover deep continuities in terms of land use, human landscape interactions, trade, belief systems, economics and cuisine. These remain etched into the very fabric of Belizean life today. Belizean heritage has always been a massively collaborative endeavour, frequently bringing together international and Belizean researchers, and increasingly it's my great pleasure to announce community members from school children to elders are increasingly involved in this pursuit. Through this collaboration, new and diverse voices emerge that enrich our understanding and reveal multiple perspectives on the past. I think this collaborative endeavour has always been massively evident in each year's Culture Symposium, and I think this will continue to be the case this year, just looking at the list of presenters and the people involved. For me personally, this has become one of the most rewarding parts of my work here, especially helping to train young Belizeans, young researchers, and showing them that the landscapes which they're so familiar with actually have these extraordinary histories that go back millennia. Make no mistake, Belize was a dramatically different place 1,000 years ago. Archaeological evidence shows us that more or less every part of the landscape was inhabited, and Belize was potentially home to over 1 million ancient Maya inhabitants. Caracol was probably the 6th or 7th largest city in the world 1,000 years ago. And opening young Belizeans' eyes to this world and equipping them with the research skills to reconstruct this world and actually investigate it is profoundly meaningful. Equally vital is uncovering the comparatively recent history of Belize through the historical and colonial periods, and speaking to the experiences of people's great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. Historical studies and archaeological research not only illuminate the scars of colonialism, but also bring to light untold stories of land displacement, forced labour, and historical erasure. Ultimately, this endeavour allows us to reimagine the landscapes we know, the rivers, the mountains, the fields, the coasts, the villages, the towns and cities, as part of a much, much deeper historical continuum. It is at the intersection of this research that heritage and history and people come together to understand their world more fully. In this way, learning becomes an act of belonging. The knowledge generated through this research and shared for all in the Culture Symposium is fundamental to building this bridge between past and present and empowering people to see this connection between the land, themselves, their heritage with new eyes. In that spirit, I leave you with a few questions to reflect on, to muse on over the next few days of talks. Knowing some of the Heritage Education Network Belize directors fairly well, I think they'd agree with me that these are important things for us to think about. The first one is, how better can our research serve the communities whose histories we've studied? How can we make the Belizean past more inclusive and more accessible? And how can we ensure that the next generation of Belizean researchers and scholars feel empowered to go out there, explore, examine, and begin to understand the past? It's truly, truly wonderful to be here in Belize today, to offer this keynote speech at such a vibrant symposium, and at a time where we are witnessing a fluorescence in large-scale collaborative research into the remarkable lands of Belize and their richly storied pasts. On behalf of all those who've worked tirelessly to make this event a reality, I offer my greatest thanks. Thank you all for being part of this collective, this collaborative endeavour, which is understanding Belizean heritage. Welcome all to the 2025 Heritage Education Network Culture Symposium. Thank you very much indeed.